I was on the way to Lisbon today. I'm just staying on the outskirts, so you have to cross this big bridge and it takes about an hour to get into the centre. And as I'm on the metro, heading to meet my friend who I met in Porto, I see myself in the reflection. And, I've been here for a month now. I've been trying all of the pastries and delicacies, and my stomach isn't as toned as it usually is. And I find myself almost sucking in and trying to maintain the image I've decided is okay. And it made me realise how negative and judgmental I am towards my own body, and how much time and energy and obsession over the years about how I look, and how I look determined how I felt. And I'd say 10% of the time I was happy, or maybe not happy, but I was content with how I looked, and the rest of the time I guess unhappy, I'm not sure, but not accepting and loving. And I was discussing this with the friend that I met, and she asked me an interesting question. She asked why I feel like that. And after all of these years, I've never really thought about it. I think there's multiple factors going to it. I think when you are a man, even or if you're a woman, I think it used to be worse for women in body image, whereas now I feel like it's gone the other way, and now it's men who have the body image issues, because you see all of these absolutely stacked guys with six packs and massive biceps, and then you look in the mirror and you can almost feel emasculating. And when you begin to focus on your health, or at least for me, I found that I see where I'm lacking, as opposed to give myself credit and love for the effort that I've put in to achieve the body I have. And the minute that standards slip, or I enjoy myself, or maybe I'm just, living life and put on a bit of fat, or maybe lose a little bit of muscle, and God, the inner critic just goes wild. One look in the mirror can shift my entire mood. It's wild. This trip has been really eye-opening to see the areas which I am not free. It's almost as if they've been coming up one by one, creeping into my awareness. They've always been there, but my awareness hasn't been large enough to see. Just checking we're actually recording. That'd have been funny. A lot of which I've worked on, and the book Letting Go by David R. Hawkins is really, really helping expand my idea of what is possible and how to not just subdue negative emotions, but let them go. Highly recommend. One of the main ones was, I've always had a resentment and anger towards my dad, and I hadn't seen him in 2 years, and I was going to the north of Portugal to visit my little brother, and his mum. And I was having the conversation with Mary, his mum, saying that I have forgiven my dad and that I no longer hold animosity. And then the universe tests whether that is true. And the next day, out of nowhere, my dad turns up. Wasn't expected, but it was a test. And it was the first time that our relationship didn't have this negative charge. There was no outbursts. There was no looking for redemption. Letting go of the anger, the resentment, letting go of the times where you feel wronged, letting go of the people that have hurt you in the past, holding on to that energy, holding on to that emotion is only causing you pain. Potentially, you're never going to get the sorries, the forgiveness, or the whatever you're looking for from holding that resentment against that person or that event. All you're doing is causing yourself more and more suffering. And I know that it might feel like you might not be able to let go. But just know it's possible. And just know that once you do, and you go on the other side, life can be filled with peace and love, and you just feel lighter. You feel happy. You feel like you're not being pressed down by all of this baggage. So yeah, day 6, baby. Thank you again, guys. Love.